All right, we got our miss, and the first miss of the season is Ethan, our defending women's champion, is going to be missing the season opener. And I'm talking about Lisa Vittozzi from Italy is going to be sitting out due to back problems. Talk about the impact this has on the sport.
I mean, she's definitely one of the superstars of the sport. I think I think this might put her out of the women's overall Crystal Globe just because it's so tight every single year. If you miss, a race or two, that sets you back huge, but missing a full World Cup weekend, that definitely doesn't help. I mean, she's been at the top of the sport for so long. She's one of the icons in the sport, and I know so many fans are tuning in to watch her race. And there's a lot of younger kids out there and juniors that look up to her as a role model. Obviously, like, for health reasons, you have to do what you have to do, and sometimes it comes down to not racing, and if that's what they decided on for the decision with her and the team, it's better to miss a World Cup weekend and get to have the full rest of the season to be healthy and racing at the top rather than just trying to struggle through it for a whole year, especially with the Olympics coming up next year in Italy for them. I think this might be kind of looking into that, where this season, whatever happens, but next year, like, they have to be fully healthy, on it, ready to rock and roll. So I think that's definitely a different lens that they probably considered when they were making this decision, but a big impact on the women's overall Crystal Globe. But I think she'll still be able to come back and have good results the rest of the year for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Ethan, look at this. This is talk about inspiration. Like right here, 2019, shooting 88%, shooting or skiing minus 2.3, and then she ends up coming in second overall against Doro in the overall. 2019, Lisa was probably on top of the world, thinking like, this is it. How much better can it get? And we know she had this terrible setback here over these next couple of years where she fell drastically. I mean, look at the standing shooting in this season, absolutely atrocious. She had this setback, and you got to think in this moment right here in 2022, like, you have to believe that she probably even considered quitting the sport. And for her to not only come back in the shooting and become a 93% shooter, which I think last year was like, it was like among the top 3 for best shooters. I think maybe Vanessa Vogt was a little better. But for qualified shooters, meaning people who raced the majority of the season, she was, I think, the 3rd best shooter. And then also skiing, minus 3.6, so much better than the minus 2.3 from her 2019 season. Like, talk about the absolute ultimate comeback and inspiration for young skiers everywhere. I think it's too bad that she's going to miss at least the season opener. And I do agree. I think the women's field is so competitive right now that I don't know if she is going to be able to win the overall by missing a couple races to start the season. But yeah, I think the most important thing here is the Olympics next season. And that's what I think is really important. She's won the overall. She's won a ton of races. Does she have an Olympic medal yet? I don't know. Let's see. But she's getting to the point where she's winning almost everything. Okay, so she does not actually have an Olympic medal yet. She has a bronze in the relay in Pyeongchang. Bronze in the relay. That's all she has. Her best individual Olympic performance is 6th in the sprint in Pyeongchang. So, the home Olympics are coming up. She's obviously the best biathlete in the world, being the reigning overall champion. I think this is purely you haven't won the medal yet. You've won everything else. Don't worry about the globe. Yeah, it's great to say you're the best in the world, but when you have the Olympics coming up on home snow, especially, I think it's just they're 100% into Olympic investment at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe she misses 25% of the season. Maybe there's a couple other weekends that she has to sit out. Same with Doro from her teammate from Italy, who's also getting a little bit up there in age a little bit. Maybe she doesn't have the stamina to race the entire season anymore. maybe expect to see her sit out a little bit. But yeah, I think in my opinion, this is purely like, hey, we're in Olympic mode right now, and let's see if we can have one of our young girls win the overall. You know, like let's or Jacquemelle, let's see if he can win the overall. But you've already done it. Let's just get that Olympic medal.
Mm-hmm. I think as a team too, they put so much emphasis into their home success and Antolz every single year. You know, it almost feels like for them like another world championship throughout the season. So I think if it comes at the cost of missing, like you said, the first couple World Cups, maybe it's the whole first trimester. But if that means she's ready to go and on it for Antolz this year, to then lead into Antolz next year when it's the Olympics, you know, I'm not saying that they don't care about this year, but I think Antolz this year and then the whole season next year at the Olympics matters way more than the first couple World Cup weekends this year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.